York. Let's head to Chicago, and they're saying that the numbers are down. Of course, they're down because the buses have pretty much come to a trickle. So let's set this one up, and all right. And they notice how somewhere in here they talk about the mission. Brandon's even got the reporters referring to this whole border crisis, migrant crisis as a mission. So let's listen to what the numbers are in Chicago and where they're at. Some good news, I guess, for Brandon, and we got some more bad news for Brandon later on.
Migrants in Chicago shelters has hit its lowest point in months.
The city also says it is not seeing as many new arrivals. Joni has an update on where those numbers currently stand.
Good morning. It happened just in the last couple of weeks. There are fewer bus arrivals for whatever reason, and there are 2,000 fewer people staying in the shelters right now. Also, we have the 60-day limit on shelter stay that is coming up next month for those who are currently living.
Yeah, and it's 40 and cloudy today. It is freezing out, even though it's 40 degrees. We might hit 45 by the end of the day, but it's no sun today, folks.
In shelters. The city reports that the city has received 35,000 new arrivals since the mission began. The police station.
Listen to that. Since the mission began. Figure that out.
Since the mission began, the police stations are mostly cleared. There's still a temporary waiting space for some, but only 10 are sleeping in police stations. O'Hare has one person staying there. And the Harold Washington Library, which took in migrants during the coldest days of all, January, back to being just a library. Now, at the peak, 15,000 migrants were housed in 28 city and state-run shelters. That number now below 13,000, much of the reduction happening just in the last 2 weeks. There's still pressure, though, for those who are in the shelters to find their own housing. They're going to start getting those eviction notices. They have to leave the shelter in mid-March. They could get some assistance from Catholic Charities, but they are encouraged to find an apartment on their own. Reporting live, I'm Joni Lum. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
So, yeah, find an apartment on your own. Good luck, folks. Good luck in finding an apartment on your own. So there's the update. Without Governor Abbott closing down Eagle Pass, this town would still be awash with buses. So now that he's closed off Eagle Pass and called Joe Bergen's bluff at the border, it's stopped the flow of buses pretty much to the city of Chicago. So now the only flow that they're going to get is probably people being bussed here from New York or Denver. And yesterday, there was a incomplete story that we covered yesterday about the shot spotter. Yesterday it came out that Brandon was going to cancel the contract of a product called Shot Spotter in September of this year, making it sound like it was going to be due in September. Later on in the day, we came to find out that the incompetent Let's Go Brandon's goal was to renew Shot Spotter for 6 months and then cancel it. Not that it was going to expire in September. Late in the evening, it came out that Brandon was trying to get an extension because ShotSpotter license, which they pay about $8 million a year. And for those of you that don't know what ShotSpotter is, it's kind of like an acoustic microphones that they've set up in the various areas of Chicago so they can determine where shots are fired within an area of Chicago, so then they can send the police to the right area. Well, the contract expires tomorrow, this Friday, and Brandon wanted to renew it until after the DNC convention. But that's not how the story came out. Well, now that all this has come out, he still doesn't have a temporary contract. And do you think the company that knows what eventually he wants to do is going to want to give him a temporary contract? No. So incompetent Brandon, mark another one up for him, as he's just basically dropped something on his foot again. So I just can't believe his stupidity that he continually comes to us with, and just never ceases to stop. Another report that we saw was there was a hotel or motel in Evanston, Illinois, that Cook County had purchased, which was going to be opened as a shelter, called Margarita Inn. So the people in Evanston, let's say the woke people of Evanston, will be getting some migrants in their fair city